What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Dylan and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now, real quick before the video starts, just want to apologise if you can hear any background noise, anybody talking, anything like that. Basically, I've got my bedroom window and stuff open because it's really warm today, and I'm actually sweating as I'm making this video because it's that warm. So I just want to apologise for that in advance. If you can hear any background noise, try your best to ignore it. If it's annoying, I really do apologise for that. But anyway, the purpose of today's video is to basically talk about Crucible, and a few things that I think would be nice changes and nice additions to the Crucible. Obviously, this is my opinion. This may vary per individual, but this is just off of my experience of obviously after playing Destiny, after all of the years it's been out, since the beta, the alpha, whatever. I've been there since day one, and I've pretty much never stopped playing. And this is my thoughts and opinions on a few things that I'd like to see happen to Crucible, which I don't think we'll see. Obviously, Destiny 2 is just around the corner now, and I think Age of Triumph is pretty much the final straw of what Bungie is planning to do for Destiny. So we probably won't even see any of these changes come to light, but hopefully we could see like maybe a little bit of a weapon tuning or something like that. Or maybe just Bungie, if the chance that one of their employees managed to see this video, maybe they could implement a few of these ideas into like Destiny 2. One of the things that I do want to praise Bungie on is reducing the amount of game modes. Now, in Destiny previously, it took me quite a long time to find a game. It still takes me quite a little bit, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, thanks to the the reduced amount of game modes. That is one thing I want to just thank Bungie on. It works really well, so that is one thing that I'm really happy with. Now let's get on to some of the weapon side of things. Primaries and special, all that sort of good stuff. Now, obviously, heavy ammo, I think, is fine for 6-man game modes. But I'll get into it a little bit more in detail about 6-man game modes when I get to some of the weapons and stuff. But in 6-mans, I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly okay. I feel like it needs to be removed from your slightly more competitive game modes, like your Trials of Osiris, your skirmish, doubles. I think heavy should just be removed from those, because a lot of the time, if in skirmish or if in trials the enemy gets heavy, 9 times out of 10 you're probably just gonna lose. It's really just, there's just no point in having a heavy round, in my opinion. It should all be about gun skill and which team can come out on top by actually using their guns to get kills, not heavy weapons that just the other side doesn't have because you got heavy and they didn't. Just little things like that. It's just sort of especially when it's a heavy machine gun as well. You get snowballed, and it's not a fun experience. Obviously, when say if I'm using a hand cannon, I'm trying to win the battle against a heavy machine gun. It's just it's not going to happen. Very rarely, you can kill someone that's using a heavy machine gun. If they miss, then yeah, but if they don't, then you're pretty much just dead. So that's one thing with the heavy ammo. As far as special ammo goes, after playing Crucible, like 10-12 hours a day since the new patches come out, honestly, I don't think the special ammo changes were good. And I'm going to get into a little bit of a detail. Basically, now in Destiny, obviously if you didn't know, when you die you'll lose your special, unless you have a sidearm. Now, people are obviously still maining special weapons. I honestly have not noticed a reduction in the amount of people getting kills with special. People are camping with icebreakers, people are sometimes using invectives, people are just again sticking to sidearms, even with the special, the sidearm ammo capacity nerf that Bungie did a couple of days ago. People are still maining sidearms as well, and the reason for that is just because having that time to kill there, I feel like is what people look for in Destiny, and I feel like that ties into sort of the primaries a little bit as well. I feel like primary weapons right now in Destiny are really, really weak. and it's just, I'm not trying to sound so negative, but it's just so boring. I feel like not one primary in the game has range as well. Like all of the like even pulse rifles, they have no range. Auto rifles have no range. Like all of the guns suffer from severe damage drop off. Like it's just such a watered down game. And I feel like every engagement is slow. It's boring. People are camping in corners. People are just using fusion grenades, sticky grenades, like 24/7, which is another problem that needs addressing. Sticky grenades that need sorting out. I mean, if you're gonna have this much magnetism on a sticky grenade, you either need to make it not a one shot, or if it wants to be a one shot, you should reduce the magnetism. That's just the way I would do it. You can't have a grenade this magnetic and it one shot. I mean, it's honestly pathetic. If it's a one shot, you know, maybe do it like the sticky grenades in Halo. But obviously that might be too much of a skill gap for Destiny, which is another thing I want to get into. Is I feel like the skill gap sort of, it's increased a little bit but not enough, and I feel like just again I don't feel like the primary weapons are being used enough still. I still feel like people are running around with specials all the time, and I honestly think that is because people don't want to use a primary because primaries are bad. You know, forgive me if you don't agree with me on that, that's completely fine, but in my opinion primaries do not deal enough damage. The damage drop off on every single weapon type, you know, pulse rifles, autos, hand cannons, at times even scout rifles. You know, scout rifles are supposed to be the kings at mapping people, and even they have damage drop off. I just think it's kind of a little bit stupid. You know, we're playing a futuristic shooter, you'd think weapons would have range, and I just feel like a lot of the weapon, this, you know, and then it ties into like ghost bullets in certain weapons, and like other bullets don't register, certain things don't hit properly, and it's just sort of like one big problem in itself. And then like, I do enjoy Crucible, but at the same time it gets annoying quite quickly. I mean, if it was honestly up to me, I would chop off both of my legs just to have Year 1 Crucible back. If I could have Year 1 Destiny back for the Crucible, I would gladly chop both of my legs off, and I would be completely fine with that, because in Year 1 of Destiny, primary weapons killed, and that's one big thing that I've just been wanting again. You know, I'm not on about, you know, the Thorn last word. I'm not bothered. I don't want that sort of overpoweredness. Although it was fun and I did enjoy that meta extremely well. Obviously, a lot of the community didn't, but just the auto rifle meta from Year 1, it was so nice. You know, being able to 5-tap someone to the head with a Suros. You know, Suros in its current state I think deals 33 damage to the head. In Year 1 I think it dealt 45 damage, and then obviously put the bottom half of the mag of damage on there. I mean, you're looking at like probably 50 something damage at a headshots, maybe possibly a 4-tap. It just felt so crispy and rewarding, you know, and I feel like a lot of the emphasis on headshots has gone the longer the game has been out. You know, the Fawn last word was a 2-tap to the head. You know, you had to get your 2 headshots for it to be a 2-tap. And now I feel like hand cannons, like, you know, it's a one headshot 2 body. You know, in my opinion, it should be a 2 headshot 1 body. You know, to sort of make people actually aim for the head more. Another thing that sort of like is annoying, frustrating at times, but obviously I get it because of the different classes. You know, different classes have more armor and stuff like that, but you know, it's happened so many times sort of where I feel like that's one of the main things that in Year 1 I liked, is everybody ran like max agility builds, everyone had the same health, everyone had the same anything, you know, unless you was running a Ramlock Sunsinger, you know, that was pretty much the only rare case of it. But I feel like just we're playing a watered down or like a washed down version of Year One, an extremely poor version of Year One Crucible, and it's just annoying to see that. I still feel like a lot of the Destiny community. I mean, I feel like if Bungie was to like unnerf everything, put it back to like the day one release of Destiny for the weapons. Obviously, you don't want the OP Vex Mythoclast in there. That's you'd want to nerf things like that just out the way, so people aren't going to complain about them straight away. Obviously, those outright broken weapons. But if it was just like the release game, with the auto rifle meta, the Galahadi, the Shingan Sea, the Suros regime, the Shadow Price, the Grim Citizen, the Vanquisher, I feel like a lot of the community would probably be happy with that. And primaries would be good. People would actually probably use a primary rather than a special, because your primaries pretty much have an equal kill time. I feel like I don't think we'll ever see a primary meta, and I've said this way back. After Year One ended, I said I don't think we'll ever see a primary meta again in Destiny unless primaries get a buff. And I think I've pretty much been correct with that. I don't really think we've seen a primary meta, and still to this day, I mean, the start of the game this morning, the first 3 kills of the game, 2 with Icebreaker, 1 with a sidearm. Someone got 1 hand cannon kill, and then the next 2 kills were with sidearms. So that's 5 special kills to 1 primary at the start of the game. Like, that was... You see, it's not working. It's honestly not working. And I hope, for Destiny 2, I mean, if Destiny 2's Crucible is as bad as this, I mean, I don't even know what I'll do. I'll probably just quit Crucible altogether. But, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's just my thoughts and opinions on some changes and stuff I'd like to see happen to Destiny's Crucible. There's certain archetypes of weapons that are completely irrelevant. And I just feel like, but Bungie, like, they always say that, oh, we're trying to increase weapon variety. But, like, at the same time, they're making it so much more punishing to use a different weapon. Like, for example, with hand cannons. Pretty much the only 2 hand cannons you can get away with in Crucible right now is the Palindrome or the Eyes Luna. Or that archetype of hand cannon. Everything else is pretty much going down the drain, because they don't have enough range. Which is just, it's funny to me, because obviously Bungie is saying they're trying to increase weapon variety, but yet they're actually sort of decreasing it by forcing people into a certain archetype of weapon. High impact pulse rifles, again, I feel like they could do with a little bit of a damage buff, so you can actually get consistent 2 bursts to the head. Most of the time it's just the 3 burst, so, because obviously everyone runs max armor builds now, so. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the rant. Drop a like on the video if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel for future Destiny content. Should have some exotic weapon reviews coming out pretty soon. I'm going to do some tier lists as well, with exotic armors and exotic weapons after the Age of Triumph update. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and peace.